All right, let's turn now to our CBS News correspondent, Charlie Daggett, who joins us now to break down the very latest. Charlie, what can you tell us?
Well, DeMarco, right now it's all about the investigation. I mean, you reported a few minutes ago that these arrests have been made embarking. They're being very tight-lipped about the information that we're getting out of this investigation. As you've seen in the past couple of weeks, the intelligence that's being shared between these two communities has been a sensitive issue, to say the least. But what we've seen, we were here, I don't know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning last night. We were waiting for, trying to speak to some eyewitnesses, and we saw dozens of people that were in lockdown. And this cordon was huge, by the way, much bigger than I've experienced in these situations as they tried to close that area off. And what we've seen this morning is forensic teams, combing the area for clues, try to find out more about the attackers' identities and what drove them to do this attack.
So, Charlie, do you think the assailants that were killed there, do you think they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, or was there a bigger goal? Clearly, I know that it's the preliminary part of the investigation, but do you think they were able to get, I guess what they wanted to achieve in that short amount of time, or was their plan, their plot much bigger? Was it too early to tell?
Well, it's that will come out obviously in the investigation, but there are a lot of unique signatures of what happened here. On paper, it looked essentially, as you've already discussed, what appears to be a lone wolf attack. I don't know if you can hear me with that siren going by. Police presence is, everywhere. The whole place continues to be cordoned off. We see these police vans driving back and forth. But it has the appearance of a lone wolf attack. The attack that we saw at Westminster Bridge, the idea of the MO of jumping over the curb, over the sidewalk, mowing down people, and then stabbing victims. But you have that times 3, so there's obviously a level of coordination. That is unique. We also have to look at the timing. This is the 3rd attack, as was already explained. London was mercifully spared for years, the kind of attacks that we've seen in Europe. And then bam, 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 over the course of the past couple of months, London continues to get hit like this. So I think what they'll be looking at, as Theresa May said moments ago, that terrorism breeds terrorism. It may not be connected. These are people that are inspired by one another to conduct these attacks. But yes, when you've got 3 people who are involved, you've got 3 times the potential network of those who may have known about this attack before it happened.
So, Charlie, why not raise the threat level to the highest? Why not raise the threat level to the highest? And I can only speak for myself here back in the U.S., but also for the folks there living in that country as well, who are saying, look, this is the 3rd attack, the 3rd recent attack.
Well, I think when Prime Minister Theresa May raised the threat level after the terrible bombing at the Ariana Grande concert, the reason she did so is because there seemed to be an imminent threat. In other words, they couldn't be sure that the person who was responsible for the bomb may have had further bombs, that there was a bomb maker and the bomber himself was just a conduit to what had happened. And it introduces a whole new set of circumstances here. You do have, armed forces. You have the military on the streets. And it's difficult sometimes for Americans to imagine, but we're not used to seeing even armed police on the street in London. So in raising the threat level, you raise all kinds of circumstances that change the situation here, especially in London, but throughout the country. You've got military, armed police around Westminster. You cancel events at Buckingham Palace. You have everybody on edge. It's for pragmatic reasons that the threat level is raised. Yes, there will be some criticism. There will be concern. This is now the 3rd time. We're entering the summer. There are huge events here in the UK, as there are in the United States, where you've got big crowds. The event that is going ahead tonight, that Ariana Grande benefit concert, we've been told by Manchester police it will go ahead as scheduled, but there's going to be an increased security presence there. Everyone is going to be searched. There'll be armed police in the vicinity and on display in this show of force. So it becomes a little bit more complicated to just raise the threat level unless you have good enough intelligence and to have a concern that another attack is imminent. As it is, we're at the second highest level now, and everybody is on edge, especially with the events of last night.
And Charlie, just a final question for you. You just mentioned that Manchester benefit concert. Is this a way to send a signal to terrorists that, okay, you know what, you won't win. We're going to continue living our lives?
Yes, you know, there is a stoicism. I know that Liz Palmer addressed it, my colleague Liz Palmer addressed it moments ago, that there's a stoicism in this country. You know, they've had to deal with terror in the past, and it is a signal, not only Ariana Grande, but a whole host of other artists that are taking part in this. That concert sold out in 20 minutes. You know, it is a signal and a message that this country will not be bowed by terrorism.
All right, Charlie Daggett there in London for us. Charlie, thank you very much.